Welcome to Inspiration and Transformation from the Banks of the Ganga with Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati, an American sannyasi living at the Parmarth Niketan Ashram in Rishikesh, India. Sadhvi is president of the Divine Shakti Foundation, a charitable organization bringing education, vocational training, upliftment, and empowerment programs to women and children. Sadhvi is also Secretary General of the Global Interfaith Wash Alliance and Director of the world-famous International Yoga Festival. Join the musings of an American sannyasi as Sadhvi shares the wisdom and teachings of her guru, His Holiness Pujya Swami Chidanand Saraswatiji.
Welcome everyone to Inspiration and Transformation from the holy banks of the sacred Ganga River in the land of Rishikesh, India. On a spiritual path, we're told to be vegetarians for reasons due to things like ahimsa, right? Nonviolence. But most of us, sadly, are given it really very superficially. The good news is that works for a lot of people. It's violent to the animals. They suffer. They are God's creation. And for a lot of people, that's enough. Thou shalt not bring suffering onto others. Great. For all of those that works for, wonderful. The dilemma is there's a lot for whom that doesn't work. And this is where we have to go deeper. Because vegetarianism, or rather non-vegetarianism, the meat industry, is violent in ways that are far vaster than the violence of killing an animal to eat it. There was a time in history where people went out into the forest with bows and arrows and they killed a deer and they brought it home and the whole village ate it for a month. Well, it was still violent to the deer, but it was sustainable. And if it was all they had, I mean, obviously, yes, we would prefer they ate potatoes and spinach and lentils and whatnot, but it was a sustainable way of a food chain. Because, of course, when the lion eats the deer, that's also violence. Right? You watch a National Geographic special and the lions are running after the zebras or whatever. Now, who do you root for? Huh? Anybody ever root for the lion? No, right? We always root for the zebra. Go, 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 he's coming. And yet, on a deep core level, we understand the lion's got to eat also. Right? We don't begrudge the lion for doing what lions have to do, which is eat zebras. So in the same way, when hundreds of years ago, without the type of agriculture that we have today, the type of food transport that we have today, people went out into the forests and they took a bow and arrow and they hunted a deer and they ate it for a month. Okay, still violent to the deer. But I think it would be hard to make a moral case of wrongness against that person. Unless they had a lot of other options, which at that point, most of them didn't. The issue today is it's an entirely different ballgame. We're not even talking about the same thing. The meat industry today is just that, it's an industry. It has nothing to do with people walking out with a bow and arrow, killing a deer in the forest and taking a month to eat it with the village. Today we are talking about an industry that is directly responsible for the deforestation of the rainforests, for climate change, for water shortages, for people going hungry and dying of starvation around the planet. The meat industry has become a scourge on the face of humanity, far beyond the eating of an animal. The meat industry today is the single greatest contributor to climate change. It is the single greatest cause of the deforestation of our rainforests. Why? Well, because land in places like America and England and Europe and it's kind of expensive. Right? Per square foot, it's kind of expensive. Well, land in the rainforests, a lot cheaper. So they go in and they cut down all of the trees and they use that land now to graze the cows who become hamburgers. An acre of rainforest, between 1 and 2 acres of rainforest, is being cut down every second just for beef. Every second. Anybody here ever sign a petition in person or online to protect the rainforests? Right? Anybody ever give a donation to Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, World Wildlife Fund? The meat industry is their greatest enemy, and it is far more powerful. For every acre they can save, McDonald's is cutting them down, God knows how many times as fast. The amount of water that goes into the production of 1 pound of meat. So you and a couple friends sit down for quarter pounders. Or you have a big steak. That amount of water is the same amount of water that you use in bathing for 6 months. It's about 10,000 liters of water, about 2,500 gallons. It's the amount of water you use in bathing for 6 months. Now, anyone here turn off the tap while they soap up? Turn off the tap while you're brushing your teeth? Right? We all should. It's nothing compared to the amount of water that you are wasting if you're eating meat. 6 months of bathing, 1 meal of meat. Which means that if you care about water, you literally would have to not bathe for 6 months after every meal of hamburgers to offset that water use. Chicken is about 1/3, so you'd only have to go without bathing for 2 months. And it uses all that water because, it eats a lot of grain, so the grain has to be grown. That takes water. The animals drink a lot of water during their lives. They're bathed with water. Then when they're killed, the amount of water that is needed to extricate that which you eat from the feces, the blood, the urine, takes a lot of water because it's not so neatly separated inside. It all kind of comes out together, so they need a lot of water to separate it. You end up with 6 months worth of bathing water for 1 meal of meat. And lastly, I could go on about this all night, but I'll give you just one more example. Every day, tens of thousands of people die of starvation. Every day. Okay? So we have one 9/11. We have one 26/11. We have one bombing somewhere, and it's horrible. And a few dozen people, a few hundred people, a few thousand people die. It's horrible, and we should stop it. And every day, tens of thousands of people are dying of starvation. 1 billion people almost go to sleep hungry every night. Those are those who make it through the night. Almost 1 billion sleep hungry. Now we actually produce enough grain, means wheat, rice, corn, soy, to feed 10 billion people. Okay? It's a lot more than we even have on planet Earth. The US alone produces enough grain to give every person on Earth 2 loaves of bread a day. No one needs to go hungry, let alone die of starvation. The dilemma is that well over 50% of the planet's grain, I think it's 70% internationally, 90% in some places like America, of the grain that is grown isn't given to people. It's given to the cows and the pigs and the chickens who are being raised to become our hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken McNuggets. The amount of grain that goes into meat is 16 times what it would take to feed people. So 1 pound of beef takes 16 pounds of grain. The reason for that, of course, is that the animals digest most of what they eat. Most of what you feed animals isn't coming out in what you get. Most of what they eat, they digest, they poop. It takes 16 pounds of grain feeding that cow to ultimately end up with 1 pound of beef. Okay? 16 pounds in, 1 pound out. But with those same 16 pounds of grain, you could make 16 pounds of bread, of rice, of pasta. So your choice really is feed 16 people a vegetarian diet or feed 1 person meat, which means that every time I choose meat, I am saying, I deserve the food of 15 other people. Let them starve. Let them die. I want a ham. Now you tell me which spiritual tradition, which scripture, which religion, which understanding of God tells us you deserve the food for 15 other people. 15 people should starve so you can eat hamburgers. None of them. I mean, they all tell us in different ways. Share, care. The world, is your family. In Hinduism, we say, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Well, could you imagine sitting down to dinner at a table with 16 people, right? Big stack of chapatis comes out. And you pick up the entire plate. And you bring it to अब सोचो, right? सभी लोगों के लिए रोटी आ गया. 16 लोगों का. सभी बैठते हैं. और kitchen से कुछ आने वाले नहीं है. Right? Whoever's cooking has made them. Now she's going to come and sit down. She's made rotis for everybody. Ab she's going to come sit. Now you take that whole stack of rotis and you take them all. कोई सोच सकते हैं? Imagine. All the food on the table. Yeah. You people can starve. We wouldn't do that in a family. We wouldn't do that in a community. We wouldn't do that anywhere. But every time we eat meat, that's exactly what we're doing. And so, on any aspect of a spiritual path, any aspect of a yogic path, we have to be vegetarian. Not because the cow is holy. If you believe it is wonderful, then it's easy for you. But because we believe life in general is holy. Because we believe this planet is holy. Because we believe the future is holy. Because we believe that our sisters and brothers living all over this world are holy. That life in general is sacred. So whether you believe the cow is holy or not doesn't matter. Is life sacred? Is the planet sacred? If it is, we have to be vegetarians.
You're listening to OTR FM. part of the IOM Radio Network.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
Welcome back to Inspiration and Transformation. I'm so glad to have you all back here with me. She said, what's the difference between destiny and free will? But they're not opposites. They actually go together. They're two parts of what we consider and speak about as our karmic package. This cycle of birth and reincarnation, all of our karma, and the fruits of the karma, they actually all go together. Here's an easy way to think about it. Let's say right now, in this moment, the sum of all of your past karma, right now, you have been given a cow. Take Gomilapko. That is your destiny in this moment. And you can't change it because it's due to your karma. So you can't say, oh, I'd rather have a kitty cat or I'd rather have a puppy dog. You have a cow. Cannot change it. Now from the cow, we get many things. The cow gives us milk. And assuming that the cow is treated like a member of your family, loved and cared for, and the cow's babies drink the milk first. The cow roams outside, eats only organic food. Well then, the milk that comes from that cow is amrit, that's nectar. From it we make ghee, we make dahi, we make paneer, we drink the milk. And we become strong and healthy and nourished and nurtured. And from the cow also we get gobar, right? Poop. Now, if you take gobar and you use it in your field, it's a wonderful fertilizer. Kate mein dalte hai gobar. It's fantastic as an organic fertilizer. You can use it here. Yahan pe Puja Swami ji ka pura jhopdi gobar se bani hui hai. Right? Stays warm in the winter, cool in the summer. It's fantastic. But if you eat the manure, if you eat the gobar, and you take the milk and you pour it in your field, फिर क्या होगा? बीमार हो जाएंगे, right? You will get sick and your field will die. Now, people say, oh, तो मेरा किस्मत है, मेरा भाग्य में नहीं है स्वस्थ रहने का. वो भाग्य की बात नहीं है, आप गोबर खा रहे हैं. We say, oh, my stars must be in the wrong place. That's why I'm sick. That's why my crops are failing. But that was not your destiny. The destiny was the cow. When you started doing karma, means action, of eating the manure and pouring the milk in your field, those actions led to the next moment of destiny, which is you are sick and your field has died. But that was not your destiny from the day the cow was given to you. That destiny was written when you decided that you were going to do the wrong things with that cow. Maybe it was because you had an ego that said, nahi, 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 main aise karungi. Or maybe it was very simple, you didn't know. Maybe you were just ignorant. But in your ignorance, you did not seek wisdom. You did not say to someone, Dekho, I have this cow. From it, this white stuff comes, this yellow stuff comes, this brown stuff comes. Aap batao main karun kya? You didn't seek wisdom or guidance. And so you made the wrong decisions. And those wrong decisions have consequences. This is why the Guru, the scriptures, Satsang, Katha, that's why these are so critical, because in life we don't always know what to do. There's so much of life where we are in that situation where suddenly we've got something white, something yellow, something brown. और हमारे कोई idea नहीं है कि मैं करूँ क्या? What to eat, what to use for the field. And that's when we look around for, who can I ask? Who's a wise person here? So your destiny is written by your free will. Your free will is creating your destiny. Now, it's creating your destiny along with the way that your free will operated in the past. So your free will of today, plus your free will of earlier in this life, of past lives, all together are creating your destiny. What you did in your past life, or earlier in this life, with your free will, that karma, that action you engaged in, by choice, is giving you fruit, karmic fruit. That fruit is now interacting with the karma you are doing right now. And then together they become your destiny in the future. So, after Aarti, we'll just take right here, after Aarti, you all decided, chalo satsang chale. Now, you decided that with your free will, but some of that is the result of past karmas, over your past births, earlier in this life. You've got sanskaras due to your karma that led you, for example, to vacation in Rishikesh rather than in Goa. Okay? So you didn't just fall here out of the ether. It wasn't like you were sitting on a cloud and you said, where should I go? The sum total of all of your past karmas, which have created this particular incarnation, with the sanskars you've gotten, led you to decide to come to a holy place. And then it led you to decide to spend the evening on the banks of Ganga. You could have gone to the movies. It's also an option. But you didn't. You decided to come to the banks of Ganga to perform the Aarti. And after the Aarti, again, in intersection with that which has already been written because it is your personality, you are not the going to the bars, getting drunk people. And so in intersection with that aspect of your personality that has been created due to past karmas, you decided to come to satsang. Now, sitting in satsang, so we can say this is your destiny of the moment, right? Your free will created it, but now you are here. Now you've got some options. You can be here fully present, listening, not just with the ears, but with your heart, with your inner self. You can ask courageously your deep questions. Or you can sit here thinking, ki I should have gone for pizza. Chalo uske baad hum pizza khane jayenge. Uske baad we'll go to the bar or the pub or the... Now that thought that you have in this moment is creating your next destiny. How you feel tomorrow morning will depend upon the thoughts you are having as you sit in here. Are you going to feel inspired, connected, awakened? Or are you going to have a stomach ache and feel hungover? Not because it's your destiny, but because right now you are making that choice. So that's how they intersect together. Every minute and every moment, your free will is creating new karmic fruits based on how you act. And all of that intersects with the past and is giving you what we continue to receive as our destiny. So you can think about it very simply as in right now is the pre of when we talk about something is predetermined or predestined. Well, right now, the actions you do are the pre for the destiny you will have tomorrow. This is the pre. So this is why it's so important for us to be anchored, to be grounded, to be connected. So we make decisions that give us a destiny that is the one that we want to live, the one we're meant to live.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Like Baldwin with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. I grew up loving circuses and other traveling animal shows, but it never occurred to me what life might be like for the animals. Training wild animals to do things they don't understand takes force. Routine discipline with a hook or whip with the heel of a boot shows the animal exactly who's the boss. Don't patronize animal acts. Please contact People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
757-622-PETA.
Welcome back. This is Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati with inspiration and transformation. First of all, Nirvana or moksha or heaven, depending on what our religion may be, depending on how we conceive of that, is not something that only happens after you die. It is not the physical body that is keeping us from nirvana, from moksha, from heaven. Our physical bodies are a gift. It's not the trees that grow, it's not the stars in the sky, it's not the birds. There's nothing about this creation that is keeping us from living in nirvana, in moksha, in heaven on earth. It's our own minds. And so, in terms of a gate to nirvana and who it's open for, well, it's open for those who have found freedom in their minds. Because those are the ones who are going to live their lives. Whether we think about it in terms of the actions we do, whether we think about it in terms of the awareness we have, it's all interconnected. It's that which I realize in my mind leads to that how I act in the world. And so my actions, my karma, is that which is going to give me fruit. That fruit is going to be either bitter or sweet, what we tend to refer to as good karma or bad karma. And that ends up determining my existence this life, my next birth. But it all begins in my mind because the actions that I do are based on my mind. My hand never automatically, without my brain being involved, rises up and hits somebody, rises up and steals something. It's first in the mind. And so, yes, we speak about nirvana or moksha or heaven as being those that are given to those who have lived righteous lives, dharmic lives. But you can only live that life when your mind is free. When your mind is free of the ignorance, the darkness, the illusion. And so, if you can break that illusion, you'll find not only nirvana after you die, but you'll find it right here. And then what's interesting is, it continues to lead us to serve. You know, you look at Bhagwan Buddha. After attaining his enlightenment, what did he do? Right? Puja Swamiji always reminds us, he didn't go deeper into the forest. He didn't say, oh, well, you know, I really like it under this tree, I'm just going to keep sitting here forever. He actually got up and he walked back into the villages to help people, to serve. And so the gates to nirvana are open when we are free. But we don't get free just by losing the body. We get free in the mind while we are living. That then dictates the actions that we do, the karma that we do, which therefore determines the results of that, and ultimately leads us to nirvana, moksha, heaven. But we get it while we're living, long before we get it when we die. So if you're ready to give up that which is keeping you stuck, keeping you in jail, your own ignorance, your own attachments, your own egos, your own expectations, those are the jail we're in. If you're ready to give those up, nirvana is available for you right here, right now. You don't even have to wait till you die. The gate is your own mind? Is it closed or is it open? You get to decide that.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Baldwin with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. I grew up loving circuses and other traveling animal shows, but it never occurred to me what life might be like for the animals. Training wild animals to do things they don't understand takes force. Routine discipline with a hook or whip with the heel of a boot shows the animal exactly who's the boss. Don't patronize animal acts. Please contact People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
757-622-PETA.
Welcome back. This is Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati with Inspiration and Transformation. Why, when life in the spirit realm, meaning the spiritual world, why, when life in the spiritual world is so blissful, do we often choose the chaos and discomfort of the material world? If there were only one of us making the decision, I think we would all choose the spiritual world. I mean, if someone came to you and presented you very clearly with two different options, and option one said, through looking at the world in this way, you will experience bliss and peace, fullness, fulfillment, meaning, deep love, truth. And over here you will experience some very powerful, passionate ups, but they will come with an equal number of powerful downs. It will constantly go up and down. There will be joy, but there will also be a lot of sorrow. There will be gain, there will be loss. Sometimes you will get what you want and be happy. A lot of times you won't and you'll be miserable. Well, anyone in their right mind would obviously choose door number one. The dilemma is there isn't just one of that us that's making the decision. There's the voice of our egos. There's the voice of our indoctrination. There's the voice of Maya, right? Maya's illusion. But she's not just randomly sort of floating through space illusion and she only comes if you call her. Maya is that veil of illusion, that very alluring, attractive, and sticky veil of illusion that when she wraps herself around you, you start to actually think she is your face and she is the world. It's like if something is stuck to your face and it's all you can see, you start to think that is the world, rather than realizing there's something stuck to your face. Right? It's like sometimes you get a little something in the eye And before we realize it's in the eye, we usually think it's somewhere in the world. And it's only once we move our head around that we realize, oh wait, it's actually in my eye, not in the world. So we've got all of these different us's. And when we are listening to the voice of Maya, when we're wrapped up in that illusion, well, that illusion isn't just a physical fabric veil that covers my eyes. It's also auditory. As it wraps you in it, she's also got this very sweet voice that says, are you sure you don't need any more clothing? You sure you don't want that new pair of shoes? Because see, the model wearing that new pair of shoes, see how happy she looks? See how beautiful she is? See the handsome man standing next to her? Don't you think that you would like that happiness? That you would like that handsome man standing next to you? Well, then you just need to buy these shoes. Maya is that illusion that is constantly whispering in your ear, you're not quite enough. You're not quite enough. Come on, let's buy some more, have some more, do some more, then you'll be something. Come on, you know you love it. Let's just go shopping, then you'll feel good. Maya's that voice constantly telling you, you know, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too old, you're too dark, you're too pale, you're too stupid, but you know, if you just owned more things, life would be better. If you just had more people around you who obeyed you, who worshipped you, who touched your feet, who did whatever you want, life would be so much better. Then it wouldn't matter how fat you were, or skinny you were, or old you were, because then you'd have what you want. So Maya's that very alluring voice that keeps bringing us along into her web. And so when we choose this chaos and discomfort of the material world, it's not that we've said, oh yeah, I want door number 2. It's that as we hear that voice of Maya, as we get pulled and wrapped up, as she infiltrates the workings of our brain that look around and say, my God, it's not fair she's so rich, or she's so beautiful, or why did this one get the promotion? I should have that, because that promotion is what's going to make me happy. That promotion is what I need. That promotion is what lies between me and fulfillment. Gotta have it. So Maya's like the friend that your parents always warned you about, right? We all, when we were growing up, had a friend or so that our parents are like, don't hang out with this one. Because your parents could see much more clearly than we could when we were young who was going to lead you in the wrong direction. And maybe we thought that person was exciting, rebellious, you know. We were drawn into them. But they were the ones our parents always said, don't hang out with them. Because they knew. They knew what would happen if we got sucked into that web. So this is what happens with Maya, with the illusion that keeps telling us, you don't have enough. You're not rich enough. You're not powerful enough. You're not popular enough. You're not beautiful enough. You need to do more. Get more. Have more. Be more in your life. You're not enough. So we turn to the material world. First of all, we believe Maya, and so we start to see ourselves as matter. And when I see myself as matter, then I'm just this physical body. The size, the shape, the color, the story, the history. Spirituality says we have a body, but we're not the body. Spirituality says we are the spirit. And there's no place that I end and you begin. That spirit that flows through me flows through you. This chaotic material world says, I am matter. You are matter. My matter doesn't weigh the right amount. It's not the right height. It's not the right shape. It's not the right color. And then there's all this empty space between my matter and your matter, and we are separate. And we get sucked into that illusion because of Maya. And of course, Maya is everywhere. It's that, as I said, that voice in all of us. But in case by chance you managed to free yourself from the inner voice of Maya, all you've got to do is open a magazine, drive down the road and look at a billboard, turn on your TV, scroll some social media. And it's like all the faces of Maya, all over again. Click here, buy now. You need this, you need that. Ah, you want freedom? Become the Marlboro Man. Smoke these. You will be free. I mean, it's insane. But you look at advertising. You look at these advertisements for, back in my day of looking at ads, it was the Marlboro Man. And it was this guy in the middle of the beautiful middle of nowhere nature, just you and Mother Earth, your horse, and a pack of Marlboros. So rather than, don't smoke these, they're going to kill you, and they're horribly gross in the meantime, it was, do you feel trapped? Do you feel stuck in your life? Well, if you just smoke this, you too will be out on a horse as the sun is setting. These days it's become cars. Car commercials frequently are like you in the car in the sunset. Maybe alone, maybe with your loved one and the top is down. But it's a symbol of how insidious Maya has become. That now it's being co-opted into all of our advertisements. Oh, you want freedom? You feel stuck? You feel suffocated? Maybe it's because you're spending every minute of your life trying to get more and more stuff. Maybe it's because you're spending every minute of your life literally suffocating yourself with more and more stuff, more and more roles, more and more desires. But the advertisement says, you're feeling stuck? This car, it's the answer. Drive this car to freedom. As though the current car you have couldn't possibly drive you into the sunset. It's got to be this one. So now wherever we turn, there's that pull of Maya. So don't blame yourself if we find that we're constantly choosing this material world of chaos and discomfort. This is the nature of the mind when it is wrapped up in Maya. And this is why we have spiritual practices. There's energies in the world, and there's an energy of Maya. There's an energy of what we call samsara, this material world that convinces us it is the truth. Your job, your house, your car, your role, your bank account, your relationships, that's it. And then we've got the energy of our spiritual practice, our conscious attention and intention to truth that constantly just brings us back in. Not this, not this, not this. A thought of greed, not this. A thought of over-identification with the body, not this. A thought of yearning for something physically, not this. Not that we're pushing it away in aversion. It's a not this of actually what we call gyan, wisdom. It's the mind saying to itself, I am not this. I am not this. That's gyan. Gyan is not the memorization of things to impress others. Gyan is the understanding. Not this. I am not my car, whatever model it may be. Not my shoes, whatever brand they may be. Not my body that fits into the shoes. Not my mind that is yearning for the shoes. I am not this. And we keep going inward and inward and inward to have the experience through this practice of gyan, of who we really are. And then once you've touched it, once you've really touched it, that becomes what you're always thirsty for. Doesn't mean you never get wrapped up in Maya again, ever, even for a minute. She's much more talented than that. But what it means is that we still always remember. So even if Maya's there, there's always this memory. Oh yeah, we remember where we're going. And we're able to find our way again a lot faster. We come back to the practices. But this is why we have to practice. This is why we have practices of Jnana Yoga, of Bhakti Yoga, that makes us love God and want to find God. If there's no love or devotion, then why bother? Play tennis. So Bhakti gives us that love and devotion that keeps us walking the path toward God, toward that divine within ourselves.
This brings to a close this hour of inspiration and transformation. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad to be together with you all each week. And I look forward to being together again next Thursday, same time, on OMTimes Radio.
Bye.